All right. Delphi tapes, confession tapes 2, Anthony Renee Greeno, Delphi case. Now, in the last confession tape of Mr. Greeno, he revealed that he does know Odin's. That was his confession. He does know Odin's. So we know this much. Now let me remind you, Mr. Greeno, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of the laws you are. You do have the right to an attorney. If you can't find one, one will be appointed to you, yada, 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 citizen's arrest. Now, hello, Deborah Fox, the great Debbie Fox. Now, Mr. Greeno, you claim that you know exactly what happened at the crime scene. So, would you say that the killer would have blood on his hands? Would you say the killer would be covered? Or killers? What would you say about this situation, Mr. Greeno?
Because we know that he stabbed them. Okay, so we're going to say I have blood on my hands.
Okay, so you say that the killer or killers stabbed the girls, not cut the throats, but stabbed the girls. Okay. And thus far you said that you would have blood on your hands, wouldn't you? That was your own words. That you believe the killer stabbed the girls. And there would be blood on hands, right? That's what you just said in the video. That was your voice. You're here to be questioned. So, would it be safe to say that being in the last video, the last interview, that you said you knew exactly how the girls ended up at the tree, that the killer drugged them by one arm? And that makes sense because the girls were found with the arm up, right? That's what you said. And he placed his hand against the tree. And what we are seeing on the tree is not enough. No, it's not enough, you're saying. You're saying it is a handprint on the tree. That's what you're saying. That it wasn't a rogue, it wasn't a whatever, a ruin or whatever. That it was actually a handprint. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, are you sure that's what you are saying? Because we really don't know if any of these photos that people are showing or what they say is even real. And there is more video recording and voice recording. We know that. But yet you claim there was only 39 seconds. That's it. That's all the video they had. And recording. Well, that's impossible. Now you're saying that the girls were killed at the top of the bridge and carried across the creek. What, they were already dead. Where's the blood? There would be massive amounts of a blood trail leading down from the bridge, down the hills, towards the creek. Nothing. So-called proclaimed there was a shoe found on the one side of the river. You proclaim now that the killer had the girls undressed before he killed them. Now let me explain why one of the girls' hands were covered in blood. Because they had a massive throat laceration. And I would imagine that the girls grabbed their throat to try and breathe, to try and stop the blood. So, do I think one of the girls' hands possibly could have been bloody from her trying to stop the bleeding. I would think it's possible and capable. But here's the thing, we've seen no photos of anything. But you claim that that the girls were drugged to the tree. Well, then we would have seen drag marks all over. This was a very fresh kill, Mr. Greeno. This wasn't something that was months went by. The girls were found the next day. I think possibly maybe that night. Possibly, and someone didn't say something. Somebody might have been there. Somebody might have got word they found them. Somebody might have went out there and took photos and did all this stuff before even the police showed up. A lot of people don't remember that. There wasn't even police there because they couldn't do a search, if I remember correctly, because these were two young teenage girls. And there had to be so much time that went by before the police could get involved and commence to a legit search. I believe it's 48 or 78 hours for someone to be missing, because we all know children or young teenagers, they do run away. So, Mr. Greeno, you said in your video yourself, you just heard your own voice, that the killer stabbed the girls, and you said, let's say that you had blood on your hands. Well, I don't know about that, Mr. Greeno. I wasn't there. It's all in editing. If you ask the right questions and you play the right video and you do the right editing, you can make it sound like you're talking to the President of the United States, Mr. Greeno. So, this is confession tapes number 2 of Mr. Greeno. Interrogation, Delphi, and numerous people. Right? Like I said, I do believe that people could be charged with aiding and abetting a fugitive. And I do believe these YouTubers could be charged with obstruction of justice, Mr. Greeno, and other YouTubers out there. This was the one time that some of these YouTubers didn't look and hack and look at photos because we knew something was fishy. So this was the one time that it paid off not to see photos in a crime video, because the whole thing was a scam in the first place. So that concludes this interview and confessions of the Delphi Anthony Greeno tapes number 2. Now I will be back here shortly. I'm making a cup of tea. And we will do maybe another live tonight with some singing and playing guitar and maybe a fire. But that concludes this tape of the confessions or interrogation of Mr. Anthony Greeno, crime solver, bounty hunter, eighth wonder of the world. In his live tonight, he claims that he solved he knew everything. He hit it right on the button. He got all the questions and all the answers right. At the end of the video, he said, I don't know anymore. Mr. Greeno, search help. Search help. Mental illness. You've been hereby notified that you've been placed on YouTube, citizen's arrest, and many more are suspects in the case because it's an ongoing case. That concludes this video, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back. I want to thank my guests tonight in chat, the great T to the O to the Hay to the Tahoe, the great Ombek Pecky Peck, and of course, one of my mods, the great Debbie Fox. And I will be back here shortly. You ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Be safe. And the Delphi confession tapes go on.